Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. I hope you are good. I'm going to explain in this video why, in the short term, I am bearish on Bitcoin. So welcome everyone, hope you're good. Subscribe, hit the bell button, like, comment. Thank you for being here. If you're new, welcome. So, I'm bearish on Bitcoin for a lot of reasons. Long term, very, very bullish. I'm a holder of Bitcoin, as you well know. I don't just sell my Bitcoin, I accumulate through trading and other little investments that I do in little altcoins, etc. Now, I think there's a big knock-on effect that could be boiling as we speak right now with supply and demand of industries, which would create a further stock panic. Potential drops in the market could be ahead. So I have some tether ready for the market at lows if it happens. Cool. If it doesn't happen, well, it's my money and I have control of it. It doesn't matter. I have no issues with banking if there is another crash in the market. And I think there will be another one at the next few weeks especially. So in terms of all this, European stocks and US futures are rallying because of the coronavirus kind of curve. The spread is slowing. However, there's only realistically two countries in Europe that are quite renowned for the big high amount of deaths, but also they've turned around a little bit. The deaths are getting less. That's Italy and Spain. When you consider the likes of the US, the UK, interesting, I know, we've not hit peaks yet, and they're big market industry leaders. Obviously, there's stuff with China. We don't know how true or not that is in terms of their results. But I believe, and this is my opinion, not financial advice, that there's going to be a big, massive resource crash. The supply and demand ratio, right? There's no demand for cars. There's no demand for machinery, like products, because of all the global effort is on the pandemic. When you think about the car industry, all the working parts, the tyres, all the kind of other elements that go along with that, they all need to be created. No one's buying cars. Likewise, no one's buying properties. Likewise, no one's buying all kinds of other big money assets. Now, that's going to create unemployment. That's going to create job layoffs and uncertainty, slow down in production over the next coming 2 to 3, possibly up to 6 months. That's going to create a knock-on effect. And when you consider the likes of the airlines and the money coming into the airlines for travel, well, that's fucking gone. Look at the likes of this here. Rolls-Royce scrap their dividend and withdrawal financial guidelines. Boeing extends Seattle area production shutdown. You know, these are big, big things. They're not just little, minute companies that are on your high street. These are huge industry, global brands. So, when you see this, money managers, S&P 500 could plunge to 1,500, in the worst case scenario of the fallout over the next few years. That is what I'm thinking. I think this is the recession, the global recession that we're kind of expected. And it's obviously been triggered by the fact that something that's never ever happened before, and I want people to think about this. We've never had a recession where you can't go outside. You're on lockdown. You can't go to the shops. You can't do this, that, and there's no car selling. There's no production. Normally in a recession it comes down naturally, but the world's normal. You can still go out on your holidays. You can still do whatever. It's just classed as a credit crunch or recession. The fear mongering over spending money. Now this is where I'm bearish on Bitcoin. No one's going to buy Bitcoin, realistically, at these levels. At 7k, if you are, unemployment risk, you're potentially on a capped salary due to the fact of the issues, people are not going to be bullish on Bitcoin. Yes, it's bullish right now, it's going up and all kinds of stuff like that, but long term, you're probably thinking, well, there's probably going to be a drop before there's any sort of relief from that. Because you've got to think, institutions and big money players are not going to go into it, are they? So when you look at the Bitcoin chart, when you look at the 4 hour, it's rallying right up. It's looking likely it's going to run out of steam pretty soonish. I believe that anyways. We could go to these levels up here, 8k. There's also a gap at 9k. You've got to always remember that. But there's also gaps lower. Currently, we're kind of looking a bit wishy-washy in terms of where realistically can this bolt off. This has moved quite a substantial amount anyways. Look at the size of it. It's huge. Will we get to these levels? What if the S&P 500 falls? What if the Dow Jones Index falls? That's what we've got to look at, because we are parallel with them. Whatever happens with them, Bitcoin is following. They are the exact same patterns, pretty much, give or take. Bitcoin's a bit bullish towards the latter ages, but that's due to weekend trading. However, when you consider this, and when you consider the fact that if those markets do drop and the futures aren't looking too great at the moment with all the figures coming out and all kinds of stuff, it's not the greatest element. And as I say, the chain reaction will get bigger and worse. It will just get worse because the stockpile will happen, more jobs won't be needed, it's going to create issues. And we're already seeing yesterday with the 3.3 million people in the US extra signed on for the unemployment register. How many people are not doing that yet? It's going to get worse. That's what I think. And I think this is a steal of a price to hit the short button, in my opinion. I think this is too high. It's overvalued at the current climate. Yes, halving is here, but halving doesn't matter. Past results don't give you future predictions realistically because we're in a total different ballgame. We're in a pandemic. It's totally different. It's a weird kind of time. So do not expect to see this for long. In my opinion, I think it's overvalued in the current market schemes. I think if the world goes really shit and the deaths get higher in America and there's all kinds of wars going on with stocks, and people will panic. That panic will set in and the price will get lower because people won't know what to do with the wealth. People will pull out of crypto to cover their losses in the stock market potentially. And also you've got to think, well, that is not a good time to buy Bitcoin. In reality, what are you going to do? Buy Bitcoin and hope for a 10x? Well, what are you going to hope for? 10x in a pandemic? No. You're going to look for that 4K, that 3K level, so you can probably go for a much better opportunity risk reward. That is my opinion. That's what I feel is going to happen. A lot of people are bullish. I get that. A lot of people are bullish, but I'm also thinking fundamentals. The hash rate is falling with miners. The world is going to shit. Not many people know about Bitcoin, using Bitcoin for spending money if their banks are frozen or somewhat liquidated in some ways. Now that is a problem. We're not ready yet for that global epidemic of, oh fuck me, gold? No, I want Bitcoin. That hasn't happened yet, so that's a big, big sign as well. So looking at the chart, bit of technicals for you. I'm currently in a short position, not that confident as it stands in terms of when this is going to turn around, because it's one of those things. It's not really turned around yet. It's turned around, it's come back up, it's bounced back up, it's turned around, it's bounced back up. It's a freaking nightmare. So you got to be mindful of that. We have had some nice successes over this move here. Went into this long here, and it's kind of tailing out a little bit. I was in Ethereum as well, recently just got stopped out of that. It went a bit too high, but this has been rocketing. This has went up 8 or 9% today alone. Really, really has went up. But this potential upside to 170 psychological level could then melt all the way back down again. But we'll see. It depends on the current market, so just be mindful of that. And what I will say with Bitcoin is it is looking very, very bullish as it stands. But you've also got to think, well, this is travel a long way down and a long way up. It's relief rally halfway. This is a key level, psychological level. So if you're longing right now, from this point right now as of this video, you're freaking FOMOing. So just be careful of that. Other things to mention as well, XRP is in the exact same kind of element realistically when you consider the facts of, well, where are we? Well, in terms of the chart, this is kind of in no man's land. But when you start thinking, well, actually, let's just go from a better point of view, you kind of, that's better. The 0382 regions is, it's an interesting area on the weekly. I wouldn't advise using the weekly on there anyways. It's a bit wishy-washy. But if you're looking from the impulse, I like to go from the impulse. We're very, very close to actually just turning around, in my opinion. My opinion anyways. But that's kind of today's video sorted. I just wanted to kind of talk about the fact that I think there's a much bigger play happening right now, and I think that global supply of shittery that is potentially going to happen isn't counted in yet. It's not priced in, and when we start seeing the market fall and the traditional markets fall due to fear and people selling because they're like, oh, well, actually, why am I holding this stock? If they're making people redundant, why am I holding? They'll just sell, and it'll be. I think that chain reaction will happen. I think people will move into certain elements, and I don't think Bitcoin will be the answer. I think Bitcoin is the answer when it's low, not at 7K. So that's my personal opinion. Anyways, thank you for joining. video again tomorrow. Don't know what to do tomorrow yet. We'll see what happens in the market. But other than that, we'll see you again very, very soon.